Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Okay, dust beginning to settle even more after Nick Saban's announcement, and news cycle is certainly spinning. As we're trying to learn who is going to replace Nick Saban at Alabama. Obviously something of great significance for LSU and for all of college football. It's the sport's most dominant program over the last 2 decades, and the architect of that program is now gone. So who replaces him? It's a massive question that everybody wants to know, not just out of intrigue, but also if you're an LSU fan, it matters greatly because you're going to play Alabama every year. You don't need me to explain that, but just for the benefit. It's kind of warm in here. What do y'all think? Terminator highs, red. I think they're fire. So excited. Gonna bust them out today for the first time. So it's obviously massively significant here and all over college football who replaces Nick. So the first name that seemed to pop up was Dan Lanning, and Dan Lanning reported that, sorry, somebody said Tham. I'll make sure it wasn't said. Dan Lanning released a video on social media on Thursday saying he's staying at Oregon. So Dan Lanning apparently will not be the next coach at Alabama, replacing Nick Saban. So you start to go down the list and you kind of wonder, all right, well, who's next, right? And you're starting to hear, no matter who you talk to, the list of names, right? So Kalen DeBoer has become a very popular name at Washington. Good coach, is a national championship winning coach at the lower subdivision. He won 3 NAIA championships. Oh man, here comes the rain. Wow, that was loud. Anyway, so this is a guy who has won national championships at the NAIA level, and just got Washington to the national championship game. He's only 49 years old, so kind of similar age where Saban was when Saban got to LSU. Anyway, Kalen DeBoer is one. Mike Norvell at Florida State is another. And you might say, well, Mike Norvell's had an undefeated season. Why would he leave? Well, for the reason of what just happened at Florida State. Florida State is in earnest trying to leave the ACC. Well, if you're trying to leave your conference, you just went undefeated and got left out of the national championship, and now you have an opportunity to take over for the greatest coach in the history of the sport. And while there would be tremendous expectation, you would also have tremendous resources at that opportunity. So, you know, Norvell, in my opinion, Norvell would make sense. Like Norvell leaving Florida State for Alabama would be a no-brainer. I mean, Florida State's trying to get out of their conference, and they might be stuck there. I mean, they're going through lawsuits and all to try to get out of their grant rights. I mean, you leave that and you walk right into the SEC, and not just the SEC, but you know the program that's been the preeminent program in college football for the last 2 decades. I mean, that's pretty much a no-brainer. So let's see how this feels. Put the crease protector in it. Yeah. I gotta relace it. So no Lanning, Kalen DeBoer, Mike Norvell, and then obviously you have the former Saban assistants who keep coming up with Steve Sarkisian and Lane Kiffin. And my understanding is that the belief is, and keep in mind, Jimmy Sexton represents all these dudes. So he's kind of like the puppet master pulling the string. So, he could be getting people mentioned just to leverage new deals where they are now. And he's brilliant at what he does because of that. And so, and when you kind of have a monopoly on the space, you're the one playing each side against the other because you hold all the cards, right? I mean, you know what everybody wants, what everybody's asking. So it's hard for another side to gain leverage when you know what every side wants. So it'll be interesting to see, from Sexton's perspective, how this goes down. Because yes, I mean, there's no doubt that Jimmy Sexton is going to get one of his clients this job, but is it also a matter of Jimmy Sexton playing both sides against the middle to try to just get better deals for all of his clients at their current spots? Which the answer to that is yes also. Basically wants everybody getting more money. All of his clients getting more money as a result of this. So anyway, all right. God, it's storming outside right now. You know what that means? If you got roof damage, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Let us come give you that free, no obligation roofing inspection. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hudco's pinned in the chat right there, by the way, so I'll make it so easy for you. All right, let's see. We'll say some good mornings here. Y'all fire away. You know the drill. Trey Fisher, Brant Roban, good morning, y'all. Brant said, is LSU the new king of the West? I was thinking to myself, there is no West anymore, but he put parenthetically, if there was still a West. Maybe, or maybe for now, could be Ole Miss. Brian Broom, Timothy Fontenot. Hey, Dad, good morning. Same with Laurel, the birthday girl. My niece Laurel, today is her birthday. Laurel, we had Drew record you a happy birthday video last night because, of course, Drew has to sing happy birthday. So I don't know if Aunt Erica sent it yet, but if not, she will today. So we hope you have a wonderful birthday. Have an awesome, awesome time. And we have your present in the mail. So it'll get there soon. I hope you have a great birthday, Laurel. Patrick Ramos, good morning. Brett Guidry. Remember to smash the like button. Thank you. Wendell Norman, Chris P., William Moore, Rooney VR, good morning. Zach Swan, Taylor Hudson, Damon Hinderberger. Morning, Matt. Did you win your bet with Ocho Cinco? Yes, I did, Damon. And actually, today on AFR, man, it is storming. Today on AFR, we will formally put out a clip. I'll talk about it on air today. We'll show the graphic. We'll formally put out the clip, calling out Ocho to say, all right, man, here it is. You lost. Time to pay up. So that's going to happen today on air. I'm looking forward to it. So, and I think he'll be good for it. I do. I think Ocho seems like a good and respectable and reputable dude. So I think Ocho will make it happen. And that'll be a lot of fun, man. I'll make sure we do right by him too. I'll make sure we promote the heck out of his cigars and anything else he wants to do, and sell a bunch of cigars. I know Don Juan carries Ocho's cigar brand, so that would be really cool to kind of have that synergy there. All right, let's see. Sorry, I was getting them laced, y'all. All right, we ready. Brian Penn, good morning from Tulsa. Okay, headed to the other LA. Got a long haul, man. Be safe on the road. Jacob Thompson, Jason H. One more day before you can rest that voice, I know. Dalton Pichon, Scone went full T-Bob when he saw Nick retired. I can't imagine if it was announced during Whiskey and Wine. Brian Wynn, Ryan Stadler, Jason H., Christian Geiger. Morning, Matt. I apologize if you've mentioned it. Do you anticipate any of the Bama commits swapping to Georgia or LSU? I don't know, Christian, as far as who LSU might be looking to flip, but I do fully expect that Bama's going to lose not only commitments, but I think they're going to lose players in their roster as well. That's just natural every time that there's a coaching change. I know I've said it before, but look at the situation that transpired at LSU when Ed got fired, how gutted the roster was. Look at A&M this year, and I know it's different because you had a coach getting fired and the situation wasn't great, but at the same time, a lot of people committed to play for Nick Saban. And, when you have the portal window opens for 30 days for teams when their coach leaves. So I have no doubt that Nick Saban met with his team and told them, hey, stay. And I know also that, the word out of Tuscaloosa is they're trying to hire a new coach, within 72 hours, which means really today or tomorrow, they'll probably have an announcement. So, who's it going to be? We'll see, but it's pretty clear they try to make this move quickly. Cliff Nelson, good morning. Greg, good morning. Brandon Tilley. What's your most anticipated watch this weekend? Oh, wow. The Patriots have already hired Gerard Mayo. Interesting. I am really, really annoyed that the Dolphins-Chiefs game, which I think would be the most anticipated game of the weekend, is on Peacock. I don't subscribe to Peacock, so I ain't watching that. So, hang on, Drew's backpack's beeping. I'll be right back. He might be getting out as well.
Deal. Okay. Go. Deal.
Deal. Okay.
No.
Who says that?
What's the next?
Hang on, I gotta give you meds, okay?
And then.
Well, can you say good morning to Dad Show? Hey, can you say hi to Dad Show? Look, say hi.
Hi, Doctor.
Good job. It's very polite. Hey, do you know who's watching right now? Laurel's watching, and it's her birthday. Did you sing happy birthday to Laurel?
What?
Well, Laurel's in Kansas at her house. But look, she's watching right there. She's watching Dad's show. Can you say good morning?
Good morning.
Can you say happy birthday, Laurel?
Happy birthday.
Go look, say happy birthday, Laurel.
Hi, Laurel.
Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Good job. Did you sing happy birthday to Laurel yesterday with Mom?
Yes.
Yes, you did. Okay. All right. There's my boy. All right. Did you sleep so good?
Yes.
Hey, what color are Drew's jammies?
Blue.
Blue. Good job. What letter starts blue?
V.
What letter starts blue? What letter starts blue?
B.
Good job. I thought he said B. Jeff Jones, TK Brown, more Matt. Please find a way to have Swagoo on your show weekly next year. Swagoo's awesome, man. I just know he gets. I would love to do that. I mean, I would love to have Marcus on weekly. It's very difficult, obviously, to make schedules match. But I'll offer, and I would love to do it. Brand Roban, what do you think BK is thinking now? He's got the keys to the program. That's really the biggest hurdle for a decade. Man, I think probably knew that this would happen, right? When you gave Kelly a 10-year deal, you knew Saban wasn't going to coach till he was 80. So at some point during Kelly's tenure, Saban wouldn't be there. I think it's to get where you want to go. It's less about Bama and more about okay. And more about LSU getting its roster and coaching staff back to where it needs to go, Excuse me. Charlie Cavell, good morning. Bubba Smith. Clint Alda, good morning, man. Hope all's well. Clint, been a minute. Let's see. Sarkisian pulled a landing, double down, staying at Texas. Bama looks to be a victim of their success. Well, honestly, Clint, what I think and I didn't see anything from Sark this morning saying that he's staying, but generally because I was told 2 days ago that if Sark were offered the job that he would take it. That just tells me he wasn't offered the job. And so it happens sometimes with coaches that make those types of declarations. It's an opportunity sort of to save face. And again, when I go back to the Jimmy Sexton angle, it's who represents all these guys. If Sexton gets your name in the mix, but you don't get the job, your name was floated out there, and then you get to be the conquering hero saying, I'm staying. So then everybody loves you for it, right? It's how that game is played. It's weird, but it's but it makes sense, right? How it all transpires. April, Renee, good morning. Kelly Gross, Aiden is here now too. Can you say good morning to Aiden? Good morning, Aiden. That's my little godchild. Good morning, Bud. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Reagan Lee, what's the delay on Corey's announcement? Ultimately, y'all, it's because it's Brian Kelly's decision, and he's got to decide what he wants to do and how he wants to structure his staff. And there's a lot of okay, all right.
That's so.
Well, this is like the good old days now, when you're hijacking Dad's show. Okay, you could stay. You could stay.
No, for that show.
After Dad's show, we're gonna get dressed and go for a ride in Daddy's car to the
Daddy's new car.
Daddy's new car, which is a year and a half old.
New St. Louis.
To the new St. Lillian, which is 5 years old.
Okay.
Okay. Off you go. It's true. Right. Please smash the like button there, YouTube. Subscribe up to the channel if you're new. Jesse Brown with Florida State receiving punishment for NIL. Norvell could leave for Bama. It didn't seem like the allegations were too serious. We'll see what kind of punishment they get. It's super bizarre, though, with all of the, like literally every school with their improprieties with NIL, with what it's supposed to do relative to what teams are doing. It's bizarre that anybody would get punished, and that Florida State's getting punished for something relatively benign, but I guess somebody had to be first. Cody Champion, I keep saying it's going to be Kiffin. My understanding is that Lane, of course, would take the job, and they may get far enough down the list where they offer it. And Nick would approve of Lane. I think there just isn't consensus among all the administrators on Lane because of some of his shenanigans, personality, stuff like that. So it's why it's interesting that ultimately it comes to who actually is making the final decision, right? Like who gets to have the final say as to who is offered the job. Because you can take the input of of 5 people or 10 people or 20 people, but ultimately who gets the final say. Ryan Stadler, good morning. Jimbo can go replace Nick. Matty Tall, any chance LSU hires Reese as OC if he doesn't get the Bama job? Well, Tommy Reese isn't going to get the Bama job. He's not going to be the head coach there. And I think there's a possibility that LSU could make that call, but I think more likely what you'll see is it's what seems to be trending right now and is in no way final is a potential co-OC situation like we just saw in the bowl game with Sloan and Hankton. Now, that obviously could change and nothing is final, but Brian Kelly has to decide how he wants to structure his staff, as we've said. Because if you promote Joe Sloan to OC, then you have to hire a tight ends coach because Den Brock worked with your tight ends. I've been told that would be most likely be Slade Nagel if from Tulane if LSU goes that route. Okay, well then you've added an offensive coach. I've been told they want to add a special teams coordinator, like a full-time special teams coordinator. Well, if you have a full-time special teams coordinator, that means you have one fewer assistant on the defensive side if you add a tight ends coach. So does that mean you bring in Corey to coach all of the secondary, or does Corey coach corners and Blake Baker coach safeties, which he has done? Then who coaches your linebackers? Does John Jancic stay there? Does he move to an off-field role? You've hired Bo Davis. Is he going to coach defensive line and the jack position? Or you see what I mean? Like there's a lot of questions that need to be answered when you only have 10 full-time on-field assistants, and that's the complicating factor. How about it? I got a suggestion. How about Mike Shula? How about Dennis Francione? Armstrong, grappling. Matt, you can only keep one at LSU. Mulkey, Johnson, or Kelly. Who are you keeping? Jay Johnson. It's probably going to surprise you, but I think Jay is poised to go on a Skip Bertman-esque run over the next 15, 20 years. And I know that sounds blasphemous, but let me say it a different way, because I'll say exactly what I said when Jay was hired. Jay is capable of going on a run in baseball at LSU the way Saban went on a run at Bama. And and while you can certainly make a bad hire in football, LSU has so many resources in football that it's really hard to fail. So I think if hypothetically, and again, I want to be clear, this is a hypothetical that I'm answering, but that's what we do on Morning Scone. Sometimes you ask questions and they're hypotheticals and I answer them because that's just conversation. I'm not making any bold declaration, okay? It's a hypothetical that was asked. Like if Brian Kelly retired tomorrow, LSU wouldn't have trouble hiring a really good football coach. You know what I mean? Because LSU's committed to the resources to making sure they're great in football. And while I love Kim Mulkey, and I love that she's already won a national championship, and I think she will win more at LSU. She might win another one this year. You're basically you have to ask, okay, well, like, how are you going to prioritize the programs, right? And which would you want to be good in? Brad David, good morning. Curious, when you have a guest for multiple segments, do you talk with them during the break or wait until back on the air? Kind of depends. Mostly wait until you're back on the air. Unless if there's something I needed to discuss in the break about what we're going to talk about, but usually that's already determined. Dude, it is storming, y'all. Big sideways stinging rain. Holler at Hudco, y'all. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Okay. Dalton Barnett, Dalton Pichon, Trivia Carter, good morning. Reed Rule, good morning. Happy Friday from frigid Jersey. Jenny asked about Dabo. I have not heard Dabo's name at all. Even Reese Davis said yesterday that the Dabo ship seems to have sailed. Like, that doesn't seem like there's interest on either side there. Got it. So BK is retiring. Jay Johnson's better than Skip, and Mulkey runs the least prioritized program. That, Armstrong grappling, someone is going to interpret it that way. Okay. Trey Guy said, morning, Matt, is a fired coach's buyout reduced by the salary he gets when he gets another job? Yes, so that's called mitigation, and it has to be built into a contract, but it is built into most contracts. So a coach's buyout typically is mitigated by the salary amount when that coach gets another job, and they have to search for another job in good faith. So, like, do you remember after Ed got fired, like, his name came up like for Syracuse and some other stuff like that? Well, that's to satisfy the good faith portion of your buyout, to say you are in good faith looking for a job and you're not just sitting there catching a check. CK, I'd rather keep the Sloan Hankton duo. I wasn't impressed with Tommy Reese. That's just me. I think that offense did a really good job evolving this year, don't you? At Alabama, I think Tommy Reese is a good young coach. But yeah, I mean, if you're telling me keep what you have now with Joe Sloan or bring in Tommy Reese, I'd pick Joe Sloan over Tommy Reese. Cajun Country, for all the talk about Edo not knowing how to hire, it seems a lot of guys Ed hired are being brought back. The only guy Ed hired being brought back is Blake Baker. Corey was already here. Remember, Ed inherited Corey Raymond. Ed inherited Dave Aranda, Steve Ensminger. The prominent hires that Ed made were Matt Canada, Bo Pelini, Durante Jones, Jake Peets. Oh my God. I know I keep saying it, but like, this is a torrential rainstorm right now. These Hudco phones are going to be busy today. Oh, it's 8:02. I got to go. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I just realized it was 8:02. Why am I apologizing to you? Okay, I got to run. Have an awesome day. AFR at 3. Happy birthday, Laurel, if you're still watching. It's my niece's birthday. Happy birthday. Love you. And y'all have a great day. We'll see you. Peace.